me, the former New Yorker, lived in New York City for 26 years. Before I start, I'm going to just give my disclaimer. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, of anybody's situation, unjust, unfair situation because of the COVID pandemic. I'm not trying to make fun of you there. However, you are allowed to make as much fun of me, about me, whatever you want. It's always welcome because I don't care. So, yes. This video is just a little update of me, you know, living in Allen, Texas, about 22 miles north of downtown Dallas. And for those of you who haven't seen my previous videos, you know, I would make videos as to, why I left New York City, why I left, my mindset, what I was willing to go through. I'll put that video link down below in the description down below. I'll give a brief, quick overview. I lived in Flushing, Queens. And I lived in Bayside, Queens. I basically lived in Queens. If you're from that area, it kind of really doesn't really matter to you if it's Flushing or Bayside or Hollis Court or Whitestone. Well, now that I'm far away from there, I kind of get it now. It's same-ish, okay? So I lived there from 1993, June 1993 until August 2000. August 2000, I had to move to Long Island. I lived in Long Island, Merrick, Long Island. So I lived in Merrick, Long Island. I lived in Wantagh, Massapequa. Then from there, I moved back to Oakland Gardens in 2012. And then from there, I moved to Flushing again, right near Main Street. Then from there, I moved to Bayside. And by that time, it was like, 2015? And I lived in Bayside for another maybe four and a half years. And then at 2019, June 2019, I was out. But that plan was in the making. For, you know, in probably like the past, maybe since 2014, I was thinking of just leaving and getting out. I wasn't really originally thinking Texas. I kind of was thinking about Florida. And I don't know, there's something just drew me to Texas. And it was funny because I never even came to Texas. But it's just something, I don't know, maybe the place is just so damn big, you know, and everything's so spread out, you know. You know, living in Flushing, if you live in Flushing or you live in any of the 5 boroughs, you come out of your pod or your apartment, and you're seeing people in your hallway going, taking elevators to go down and go to work. I mean, the place really never sleeps, you know, and it's seriously, the place never really sleeps. That's just how it is out there. So I'm not making fun of you if you're still there. Listen, if you're a New Yorker, you consider yourself a New Yorker too. Like the last day that you're alive, you want to stay in New York, stay in New York. You don't have to come here. I'm not saying to come here. I'm just telling you, this is my experience from living there for 26 years, and the multiple reasons as to why I left. First of all, I wanted to own a home in the future, and you can't own a home in New York City. Even if you have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 in savings, people will laugh at you if you're trying to buy a home. Put that out there. If you come into another state, I don't know about Florida, but what I do know about Texas, you come here with $50,000, okay, in savings, in cash. You got a good credit. You got a stable resume or a stable work-life balance. You kind of know what you want to do. You're going to make it. You're going to be able to own a home. It's easier, right? Now, with inflation going up, I don't know. It's going to be a little difficult, but the possibility is still there. Okay, I'm grateful that I was able to buy my home before the pandemic. Jesus Christ, my house went up in price about like $70,000 or $80,000. So, I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing if I never was able to buy a house. Right? So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the things that this state has given to me. And, I'm grateful for all the things that I've earned from this state. I'm not saying like this state just gave things to me, but I'm very grateful for earning all the things that the state has. Opportunity for employment here is there's just so many things you can do. You can never stop working here. If you want to keep working, work. No one's going to stop you. The same thing in New York City. You can work all day if you want. However, you're gonna have to go up with a lot of different people. The commute in New York, if you're New York, you're watching this. How is the commute? Do you take the subway? Do you remember that stench? That stench of human feces, of probably rotten corpses, probably rotten rats. If you don't live in New York City and you're watching this, and you live in Texas or Florida, wherever, it's from what I hear from my friends that, you know, living over there, it's just gotten so way out of line, and people are leaving. It's just there are people that are comfortable with misery, right? And I'm not comfortable with misery. And I'm being honest with you because I know how misery feels. I know what it is to be miserable. And I really didn't want to be that person anymore. I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I was miserable because I made some wrong choices in my life. It was my fault, okay, for making reckless choices in my younger life, right? So I was miserable because of those choices. On top of that, my atmosphere, right? My atmosphere, the jobs that I was having there, really, really negative attitudes, you know, kind of like hold you down. Everybody just wants to hold you down to their level. Nobody wants to see you. Nobody wants good things to happen to you there. It's incredibly so toxic, and it's almost like you feel like you're trapped. And that's how I felt. So I didn't want to feel like that anymore. You know, the atmosphere, the politics of everybody there, the NIMBYism, the not in my backyarders, the people that, oh, we love, you know, we love aliens, right? But we just don't build don't build the housing for them near me, you know, do it somewhere else. Just the hypocrisy of people, the lifestyle choices that people make there. You gotta have the best phone, you gotta have the best car, you gotta have the best looking wife. You gotta have all of that to be accepted or, you know, be considered, right? And but nobody has to know how much you got in your bank account. You can be broke as F. Just as long as you have all the things I mentioned, you're cool, you're good, you're in the club, right? And I realized that, and I saw how materialistic and how fake everybody there was from my perspective, from my experience, right? And I really didn't want to be like that. And I can't, it's too much. It drains the life out of me. So what I did was, you know, focus as much time as I could to save my money, do my little own research, where, you know, houses in Texas, where to move to Texas, best jobs in Texas, how to make a living in Texas, things you could do in Texas, anything that was Texas related, right? And Florida related too. I was researching, doing phone calls. I was calling apartment complexes in Texas from New York. It was like 2015, 2016. I was calling realtors, just trying to find out about the market, you know, just want to find out. You know, I'm not gonna run, you know, make any jump right at it. You know, you want to plan it out, and you know. And besides, on top of that, I didn't even have my license. I didn't have my license during that time. So you definitely need a license if you're going to come down to Texas, depending on where you live. That's debatable too. So I really took my time saving my money, making some crypto investments, just figuring out how to just keep making more money saving, and just figuring out, you know, Arlington, Fort Worth, Dallas. What about, you know, should I go to North Texas? Should I go to Austin? Should I go to Houston? I don't know, right? Let's see what the company that I was working for also, how many sites do they have in Texas, right? A lot of different things. And it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. So being here now, wow, after almost 3 years, you know, in June of this year, it'll be 3 years. So there's nothing, I mean, I can't complain. I cannot complain. In fact, I can maybe tell you that I may have gotten a little bit softer in terms of, like, I don't have to be going to work or I don't have to carry that aggressive attitude anymore and try to be like, what do you, like, people like trying to come at me in some sort of way. Because in here, nobody cares. Nobody cares who you are, what you do. Nobody cares about all the other alphabet letters in whatever, you know what I mean? They don't care about the alphabet letters here. They just care, you go, you buy your groceries, and you just go home, okay? You get up, you go to work, you do your shift, you do whatever you're supposed to do, and you just go home. And that's it. Period. That is it. Okay? That for me is amazing. Incredible. I love it. Because I have more energy and more time and more patience that I can spend on other things to make my life better. Right? So far, man, I mean, I can't complain about the pandemic. I'm sure it hit a lot of people very, very hard. It hit me hard too. However, there were still options for employment in other places, in other areas that I was so grateful for having. So grateful for having. So, and you know, it wasn't really in my area of expertise. However, I got to learn a new skill. One of those was patience. So, I seriously love Texas. I love the people in Texas. Yeah, you got your people who drive like nut jobs, but everybody else here, I mean, I can't, like, people have given me opportunities, and these are strangers, okay? And being that I have my resume from New York, did put me on the top a little bit more than other people that actually were from here. I know it's unfair, but that's just the way it is, and I'm grateful for that too. So there's no reason why I should complain. Will I go ever back to New York? Maybe I'll make another video of that. Hell no. You could not pay me to go back to New York. No, thank you. No way, bro. But anyways, all right, so I'm done. This is just my little update. I'll make another update like around the summer of next year. But everything, you know, if you have any questions, if you want to talk about moving down here, I mean, you know, any questions or any concerns, if you're in New York and you want to get out, I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel 100%. If you're in New York and you want to stay. I mean, you don't have to, if you're comfortable in that type of lifestyle, then that's good. That's fine. But anyways, you leave a comment down below. You want to make fun of me, insult me, whatever you want. It's all good in the hood. And peace.